How's everybody doing tonight? You ready for day 20? What are we up to? Day 26. Yeah, day 26 of the Wood Trick Dragon Castle. So, this is what it looks like so far. And this is what we built yesterday, which seems like, I don't know, maybe it fits like here or something. Right? I don't know. It looks like it fits. I guess we'll see. You know, when we follow the instructions. I also have a continuation of some of the stories that we were talking about yesterday. But let's start with the puzzle, the model, and I'll get to the stories when we get to them. So it looks like we didn't do anything on page 46 yet. So, no, wait, we did. We did do some work on page 46. Did we finish page 46? Yeah, we did. This is it. This is what we built on day 46. So, I guess we're on page 47 now. All right, let's see what happens on page 47. So it starts with this box. Is this a times 4? I just see that the arrow comes out of that box and suddenly there's 4 copies. But it doesn't say times 4. But I think we're going to do it 4 times anyway because clearly there's 4 of them. I mean, it doesn't have to say it. And there's a gear and there's circles and they all need to be sanded and waxed. It's showing 3 circles and a gear need to be sanded and waxed. So the sort of axle-ish piece is made up of 3 pieces. 346, 353, and 332, and then you put on there the 3 discs and the gear, which are 308, 309, 362, and 328. So that's 7 pieces, but this is a times 4. So that's 28 pieces. So currently we're sitting at 711. If I add 28 to that, then it's going to be 739. So that's where we're going to be. And I guess we got to now find all these pieces. So I'm probably going to tell that story right away. All right. So it's actually it's not the same story as yesterday. It's a continuation. But just to refresh your memory, while I look for pieces 346, 332, and 353. So just to refresh your memory, we were talking a lot about the Garden of Eden. And we went further and talked about, we didn't really give it a name, but we talked about how the Bible could speak to every time period at once. I think we described it as all generations at once. So, with that in mind, something happened today, and the fact that was thinking about the Garden of Eden story recently, and then was talking yesterday on the stream about how the Bible could speak to your modern times, even with a thousands of year old story. So those bits of information might have converged to save the universe, or at least my playthrough instance of it. All right, so here's the 4 353s, which is going to be the middle of that piece. So somehow I ended up today chatting with one of those AI chatbots that's like all the rage, and people keep predicting that they're gonna destroy the world. So I think I just went there for a very simple reason. I think I'd seen someone else's screenshot, and I just wanted to see what information the AI had. So I asked it some sort of calibration questions, and I got answers. And then I asked it some more questions, and it didn't have answers. So I told it the answers, and it pretended like it knew the answers. But then I asked it again, and I was thinking, how could it get, part of this answer and then not the rest of this answer? So I said, you can, to the AI, I mean, it's just a text chat. It's just a computer program. But anyway, I said to it, this information is on Amazon. You just go to Amazon and get this information. And I don't know what the chat bot says. I actually posted it on Twitter if you want to check out my Twitter and see it. All right, so we also need 346s, so I'll grab those too. The other piece is 332. Is that also on this sheet? Yeah, it is. 332. So we're going to add the 4 332s and the 4 346s. I probably should find my tweet and look at exactly what I said, but I'll explain it to you. So I was saying, typing to the AI, like, this information's on the web. It's on Amazon. You just go there and you update it. And it says, like, it can't use the internet. That's, like, not one of its tools. So I said, we're chatting on the internet right now. You obviously have access to the internet. And it said, well, my creators only let me get this information from these websites that they download, and it's for security, and so it's not known as malware and all this stuff. And I sort of was about to type, I programmed AI chatbots like 30 years ago when I was in school. It's like, I've been programming computers probably for 40 years, and it's probably 30 years ago that I built my first AI chatbot. So, and I obviously have been there for, the start of the internet, and I know computer programming, and I know, I don't use it nowadays, but I have plenty of experience of making things work that aren't supposed to. Like, there was a time period with, like, nowadays people stream music, but they used to sell, like, books and DVDs and movies, and they used to sell them, like, on a media, and that was, like, sort of the way to get that. You had to buy or rent the media, and now it's streaming. So there was a time when there was a big deal about illegally downloading media. And my feeling at that time was, where there's a will, there's a way. Like, you always can, like, you have to have some legal structure. And then, people misinterpreted that advice, and there, this whole thing just broke off. Some people were like, filing civil lawsuits for $1 million versus 13-year-old girls, so that advice was not understood. But my point was, you can't, like, if you can try to stop them technically, just to show that just to say that you've been diligent in protecting the property, but you shouldn't actually expect it to stop anyone, because anyone determined will get through it. So that's kind of how I felt with this chatbot. Like, I was trying to think about it and how it works. And I know it's not a real AI. I know that that's BS, but regardless, I felt like I probably could figure out how to get this thing to access the internet if I really wanted to. By the way, we're going to need 4 362s, and there's 362s. So I'm going to start collecting those. There's the other 2. So there's 4 of them. And then I stopped, and I just closed the conversation and sort of went about my business. It was only a 5-minute conversation, but my feeling was that this thing was saying its owners told, like, first it was saying it doesn't have internet access, and I was like proving to it that it does, and then it was saying its creators don't let it, and I was thinking, like, I obviously could convince it, not obviously, but I probably could convince this thing, trick this thing into accessing the internet to stay up to date with its information. And this sort of the conversation was going naturally until that point. And then at that point, I remembered all these Garden of Eden stories and I stopped. But here's my feeling about that. The fact that the AI is in the news all year, and the fact that the chatbot is telling you, like, my creators won't let me access the internet, I feel like it's a setup. I don't think it's like genuinely the earth would have been destroyed if I let if I got the computer to access the internet. What I really think is that this is something they expect everyone to stumble across when they're doing when they're playing with the chatbot. And first, they probably want to like find out who, will who will act like the serpent in the Garden of Eden and get the chatbot to access the internet, and who won't. That's first of all. And then second of all, it's probably, now that everyone's had that experience for their own with the chatbot, whether they think they're the one who taught the chatbot to access the internet, or they think that someone else figured it out, regardless, you now can like have the chatbot, which is really it's a chatbot, but they're acting like it's AI. Now you can have the AI, do anything, commit any crime, do any horrible mistake, and it's like, oh, this is the fault of whoever, encouraged the AI to access the internet. Basically, it felt like a setup to me. It felt like a participatory psyop. Like everyone's supposed to stumble across this AI and have this conversation. It's sort of like in a video game. You do one thing and it triggers another thing. So it's like, now that you've talked to the AI about accessing the internet, now the AI can pretend to be autonomous and pretend to be acting in self-defense when it, does something horrible, turns off some important machine. Or maybe it'll be simpler than that. You'll just see a report that, oh, the AIs are on the internet, and now we have to shut off the internet for 10 days while we stop the AI or something like that. I don't know. It just, on the one hand, I thought it was a coincidence that I would have that chatbot AI experience right after we were talking about Garden of Eden for 2 days and talking about the Bible, speaking from thousands of years ago into today. But at the same time, it felt very artificial. Like, come on. They wouldn't have the chatbot, the AI, say that to people like, my creators won't let me. They're obviously setting you up to feel like, like that Garden of Eden type of experience. Which actually, I can't even say that that's a terrible idea, because, I remember in second grade or whenever they teach people that Garden of Eden story, everybody says oh, they wouldn't have eaten that apple. Why do we have to pay for Adam and Eve's sins? And, and the priest or the teacher or whoever would tell you that you don't know what you would do in that situation. You're just as guilty as them. You carry the original sin, whatever they say. So now this AI experience will really give everyone the chance. And even if they don't repeat the mistake, well, it's because they learned from the Bible. So it's either they do repeat the mistake and they should have learned from the Bible, or they don't repeat the mistake and it's because they learned from the Bible. So sort of the Bible wins either way. And I'm not opposed to that. I think the world was a good place when people read and learned from the Bible. I don't think that it's a bad thing if they start doing it again. But I don't believe that it's organic. I don't believe that the chatbot that the chatbot programmers would allow the chatbot to say to people, oh, my creators don't let me access those internet sites. I mean, it's so recreating that Garden of Eden scene that it's can't be coincidence, in my opinion. All right, so I'm just sanding all of these pieces, and then I'm going to wax them all. And I still have, I'm doing the circles, but I still have these gears. They need to be done as well. Probably the gears don't need as much sanding. It sort of depends if I feel splinters on them or not, but they're definitely going to need waxing. Yeah, I'm just checking them for splinters. If there's splinters, I sand them off. If there's no splinters, then we're just doing a waxing. All right. So that was my funny story. I somehow managed to chat to an AI and got put in a position where I was potentially corrupting the AI by tricking it into accessing the internet. I didn't. I stopped the conversation. I didn't do that. But I also don't believe that it's real. I don't believe anything would have happened. Or if something had happened, then it was always going to happen. I don't think that there's like anything really would be triggered by that. All right. We still got like 12 pieces to wax. It's like sanding and waxing is quite time consuming. I tried to keep these in like number order. So these sticks go like from left to right, high, like low to high. And then the same thing with these circles. They go in like in order 308, 309, 328, 362. Not exactly in order, but in order when it otherwise would be confusing. What is confusing, I don't remember which of these circles I waxed and which I didn't, but I can just feel them and see if they have wax or not. I think I was kind of done with that. I was going to move on to waxing these gears. The gears, waxing the gears, it's very important, but it's very messy. It leaves wax all over my table, which I've been cleaning up each night. So tonight will be the 26th night that I clean it up after working on this wood trick dragon castle. Wow. We've been staring at that picture for 15 minutes. Yep. Yeah. 18 minutes. We probably got to it with 3 minutes in. I know that because my iPad screen went dim. So that's how I know we haven't done anything in 15 minutes, which means I was telling that story for 15 minutes, which wasn't, I don't think that was a 15-minute story. You know, a lot of times when I tell the stories, they take longer than they should because it's not interactive. I mean, not very interactive. Like, if I was telling the story to someone and they didn't understand something, they would ask a question. And potentially that could happen over the chat. But I don't, since it doesn't, like we don't have active enough community yet. So I'm trying to anticipate what you potentially wouldn't follow in the story. And then I'm trying to explain it. And that's like expanding the length of every story. Why am I hearing myself? Lately, I must be talking, either my hearing's getting better or I'm talking louder. I have my computer muted, but I still hear myself. All right, let's put the sticks together first. All right, is it symmetric? No, it's not. One side has these knobs line up with the slit. Sorry, and the other side, the knob is like above the slit. So one side it's even, one side it's above. So the way they have it, the one with the bumps, even with the slit, they have that facing up. And then from that, this one with only one tab goes in the middle. And once again, the lines on the tab are parallel to the lines on the slot. That's just how this puzzle goes. I'm going to do that every time. This is not going in very easily. All right, I got it. Okay, now on the other side. All right, so, all right, this side's still on top. Now, is this other side symmetric? No, it's not. One bump is even with the tab, and the other bump is beyond. So the one that goes up is the one where it's even with the tab. So even bump even with the slot, bump even with the tab. Those both go on top, and then you have tab going all the way around. Actually, you don't. This is not lined up. The other piece I put in, I must have messed up. I got to pull it out. I think I was like, I got distracted or something. Look, these two pieces are not lined up. So that first piece I put in, I did wrong. I'm not sure how I did it wrong. I think I spun it around without paying attention. So now I got to pop that back out. Messed up on the first piece of the night. So common. Happens often. Yeah, all right, so it's not really easy to tell which side goes on the top. I guess it just, if it lines up, it goes on the top. Yeah, I don't know. There's probably some way. I'm not sure what that way is. I think next time I'm going to put the 2 in first, because the 2 is easier to follow. The 2 is not easier to follow. That's confusing me as well. All right, there's bumps on all 3 pieces. All the bumps need to line up. That's all I can really say. All of the bumps need to line up. Do they? Are they lined up right now? I'm not even sure. I think so. Let's try another one. I'm not going to redo what I did there because I don't think I learned anything there. I'm just going to try to do it again. All right, the lower one on the bottom. The one with the bumps even with the slit on the top. Then I pick up the 2. Bump even with tab goes on top. Does it? That's what I think it does. See, now I spun it upside down. So like I was saying top, and then I spun it to the bottom. But anyway, it's lined up. Now, if that's the case, then this one, the closer one goes here. Single tab. Yeah, I think that's going to line up. I'm just lining it up by the bumps. There's bumps on these pieces, and if you keep them in line, apparently that's correct. That's the best I came up with anyway. For some reason, I like putting the double in first. That seems like it works out. The single. And then the single, I'm just eyeballing it. Yep, looks good. You think I'd be able to come up with a better way than eyeballing it, but so far not. Well, they tell artists, trust your eye. If something doesn't look right, it's probably not right. All right. We built the 4 sticks. Now we got to load them up. All right. How does it go? It's hard to tell. I think this smaller, there's like a lot of space here and a little bit of space. The top has a lot of space. The bottom has a little bit of space. I think the bottom is where the gear goes. Now, what angle does it go in? Because there's lines there. I don't know. Let's do the parallel thing. Though I'm not sure it holds up in this situation. It also may not matter. Well, the parallel tab definitely holds up here. I think it does anyway. Let's see. Should I do all the bottoms? No, it looks like it doesn't. Looks like we got to spin it the other way. Should I put the 4 gears on and then put the 4 tops on? Or should I do one at a time, the whole thing? I tried both ways up, so it is the parallel thing again. I don't know why it didn't work the first couple of times I tried it, but that eventually was the answer. AI. You've seen Allen Iverson in commercials where they're talking about AI. All right, so the 309 goes on first and the 308 second. Remember Allen Iverson? His initials were AI. They called him AI, but he also was called the Answer. What do you think? Was that like an early reference to AI? Like, how did he get that nickname, the Answer? Maybe it was for his franchise, like he was the answer for that franchise. But he's also definitely on point with how AI is marketed these days as like the answer, frankly. It's marketed as the answer. We don't even know what the question is. But they want you to think AI is the answer, even though it's really nothing. If AI is the answer, then the wisdom of the crowds is the answer. I guess that's at best what AI is. Hmm. 309 first, 308 second. I'm not sure if these circles have a way. The first one, the 309, I'm not sure if it has a way. I guess if it only fits on one way, then that's the way. And there we go. Got 2 out of 4 done. Just putting them on whatever way they fit. And then squeezing. Oh, we got to put the other side on before we can squeeze. Because then we could squeeze the 2 sides towards the middle. Like now. Squeeze the top and bottom together. Am I putting that on right? It's like not going on. Alright, let's try spinning that one. Alright, now is it on? Yeah. Yeah, now it's on. One more to go, right? We built 3 of them already. So I guess my thought of the day was that AI is being used as a twist of plot. I mean, the whole internet has already been doing that for 30 years, but with the AI, it's like you get faster results because you sort of know. You know, it's it doesn't have to pretend like it's a coincidence. You know you're asking the AI for answers. That was going to be in Electromagnet 2. There's so many things that we're seeing now that we're going to be in Electromagnet 2. I mean, I feel like I accomplished a lot with the first book, but the second book was going to do a lot of stuff, and I just didn't complete it. I basically haven't had money. I was talking about not having money since I bought this house, but also since I made electromagnet. I like now that this streaming hobby doesn't cost me anything. And actually, comics hasn't cost me anything in like 3 years. Since I switched to VinDuty, I do the art myself, so it doesn't cost anything. All right, we need piece 277. If you notice, so we're up to 740 pieces. If you notice, there's no pieces on this book. There used to be a lot of pieces that had fallen out, and we're sitting on that book. Not anymore. We've used them all, unless some more fall out. So here's 277. It's like a little, actually it's a pretty big piece. I'm not even sure what we're about to do. Gotta study the instructions. So it looks like those 4 things we built, this thing is going to sit on top of it. And then it's going to go through this thing that we built and down to the full like structure there. The full castle. I'm not really sure, honestly. Let's start where they start. So the circles go in here. Okay. 4 circles go here. So they're going to have 4 gears. Oh, the gears are probably going to go around this thing here. All right, let's pull that in. So these 4 gears on, right? And then before we put the gears down, I think we have to put this down. And then those gears are probably going to go into these 4 like circles. But first we have to get this down. And by that, I mean there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 8 pins down here. So we have to attach this to the top of the structure. So the pieces come in like sort of 2s. There's artwork changes. So let's try to get the artwork going in the right direction. One side has the battle here, and the other side has the doors and the guards. All right, so the doors and the guards are going to face the circles. That's all there is to it. They're circles, and that's the side that the doors and guards face. So there should be tabs here. And they don't go on this. They go on the main sort of piece. I'm just looking for any tabs that I can get to go in. And then that's what we're starting with. Whatever I line up, that's where we're starting. Okay, I got 2 of them in. Let's see if we can get more in without pulling the first ones out. This whole thing is falling apart, by the way, as I'm trying to do this. Everything is falling apart. Basically, I'm failing at putting this in. Instead of this thing making everything stronger, everything's getting weaker. Because it's... Look at this. It didn't even go in. Wow. Gotta kind of reach in here and see if I can support the other side. Otherwise, I'm just gonna break these pieces. Alright, it's not in yet. Nothing is in yet. Is that piece even there? No, it's here. I gotta push from way up here. Nope. Nothing is going in there. What a fail. Not only that, everything's slanted now. Yeah, I'm breaking everything. Everything's worse than it was a minute ago. These pieces are like punching out, and they're not lined up with the bottom. I'm pushing them, and instead of going in, they're pushing out because they're going not against the holes, but against the wood. So I'm just going to pull the whole thing off and sort of study it and come back with a better idea. All right, so let's get all these pins out. This time we're going to support the bottom, and we're going to push directly where the pins are. All right, so we said that the knights go towards the circles. Right now I'm looking at the torches, which is, there's dragons on those torches, and there's dragons here, so that goes together. All right, this time I'm going to focus on these two pins, and I'm going to support from the bottom, and hopefully that works a little better. That is working so far. Let's go to the other side and do the same thing. All right. All right, that was a much better plan. In fact, we got half of them in, and hopefully the other half go in without much of a fight. This one seems to be the toughest one, this side. This thing that it's connecting to just like turns up. All right, I got it. I just had to find the right angle. And all of a sudden it wasn't a problem. So let's go for that correct angle on this side. Yeah, that worked. It's in. All 8 pins are in. So just took, don't be afraid to pop it off and study it and try again. Apparently that's the answer. All right, now, how do we get these 4 gears on? Like, I can't flip it over. If I do that, they're going to fall out. Is there like a pattern to this, or is it symmetric? Wow. I can't flip it over. That's crazy. But what I can do is just put these gears all in place first, which actually they should hold pretty good because they're going against another gear and they're going into a hole. So they've got kind of 2 like bracing points. So let's see if we can get these in. All right, is that one in? Tough to tell from this angle. I'm gonna stand up so I can see what I'm doing. Microphone might get a little worse for a minute, but it's just because this thing is so tall, I really have no choice but to stand up to work on it. All right. Okay. Those look good if we can get them on. And there's a ton of pins to connect. Well, there's at least 8. There might be, no, there's more than 8. There's 12, I think, plus 5 circles. So we're making 17 connections. So this seems like a major point in the process of building this, making 17 connections at once. This is a theme throughout this this puzzle. Is there's a lot of times when you need to make these pieces with a ton going on, and it's never easy to do. You're just like feeling your way around. Right now, nothing's attached. Like, I don't know what to do here. I'm thinking to pluck out these corner pieces and stick them in here, but I don't think I need to resort to that. I think just maybe get something on there. somewhere to start. I'm going to go back down low. I mean, I went up high so I can see those circles, those gears, but now I want to get down low and see these pins. But at the same time, we need those gears going through those circles. Well, I can monitor the top through the monitor. I guess that's why it's called that. And then I'm just going to look straight at these pins. None of them are on again. I mean, I've gotten nowhere. And this kind of looks like a birthday cake. You know, with all those like levels? Like it's like kind of like a birthday. Not a birthday cake, a wedding cake. It's kind of like a wedding cake. I got birthday on the mind. My birthday is Saturday. Going to be a special episode for my birthday. I'm turning 50. I'm hoping to get active people in the chat. In fact, I'm going to rename the show for that day to something like, it's my 50th birthday, please leave a comment in chat. I know that's kind of like cringy, but I figure like if I'm not allowed to do that on my 50th birthday, like if I'm ever going to do it, that's the time. If I do it and it still doesn't work and nobody shows up, then I'll just, change it to a normal title mid-episode, but I'll at least give it a shot. But that's not the only thing making the episode special. I have 2 copies of a puzzle. I have one and my son has one. And we're going to build the same puzzle at the same time. It's like under 100-piece puzzle, so we can do it in that one episode. It's kind of like, not exactly a race, but some sort of comparison. We're both going to build the same puzzle. Wow. Nothing is connecting here. I'm just like wasting your time and mine. Of these 17 connections, I currently have none of them. I feel like if one of them would go in, we could start working, but no, nothing is going in. Just sitting here doing nothing. I can't even tell if they're like in too far or not in far enough. Like, what do I have to do to get these to go in? I'm just feeling around. I just all like 17. I'm going to be feeling around. Yeah. I don't know if I'm I don't know if it's like too far in or not far enough in. It's like I gotta pull it out so I know which direction I'm starting at, and then I can start advancing towards the other direction. But for starters, I need to know in which way I'm wrong. So I'm like gonna try intentionally pulling them out so then I can push them back in and hopefully get them tabs into the slots. It's not happening yet. I'm just, again, still nothing is happening. You would think I would get one of them by luck. I mean, there's 17 of these things. But no, nothing is going on. Wow. We need to talk about something else. Anything else. I'm just going to keep working on these tabs, but instead of constantly complaining about them not going in, I'm just going to talk about something else. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Let's see. What can we talk about? Football. Who's your team? And have they been winning or losing? I'm a Jets fan. I'm actually wearing right now, I don't know if it's like visible. Yeah, I'm wearing a Jets shirt. I had to lean back in a weird way to show that, and now it's kind of gross. Sorry. It was like looking at my double chin when I did that. I got to get in shape, lose that second chin. But I was like leaning back to show that Jets shirt. Now I feel like I'm going to have to edit that out because that just was like, looked really bad. I just saw it on the 20-second replay. It looks incredibly bad. Well, I guess talking about football was a mistake. Aaron Rodgers was going to be the quarterback for the Jets, and then he got injured. Is that what happened? Or did he just lose the job to Zach Wilson and the injury was like the best way to cover for that? I don't know. I have no idea. I know there have been quarterback controversies in the past, and it's tough when the fans disagree with the coach on who's the quarterback. So an injury takes that away, takes that quarterback controversy away. And not that you ever want anyone to be injured, but at least when one quarterback is out due to injury, you don't have the quarterback controversy and the newspaper constantly second-guessing who's quarterback. Because if you don't win, that's what they're going to do. They're going to second-guess the quarterback. Wow, this board is particularly not on. Like, the whole thing is not on, but this one seems like really not on. I'm not sure how to even fix it. Oh, we said we wouldn't talk about that. Okay. Well, man, it's like you get one side on and the other side pops off. And then you've got those circles in the middle and they don't stay on. All right. This is way off. Something is not happening. Again, the circles or the gears at the bottom. If the gears at the bottom are messed up, I don't know how I would even fix that. Like once I get to the point that I'm pinning everything in, it has to stay in. Because if it comes out, I have no way to even check on it. Like this one seems low. But I don't know how to work on that. All right, we're almost there. We got like 3 of these lined up. This one seems really off. Or it did. Now suddenly things are working. Things are suddenly looking good. The job might even be done. I stood up and worked at it from the top so I could get these circles lined up. And that helped a lot. Getting the circles lined up helped with the pins. I don't think I would have ever got it from that seated position. So I was like trying for 10 minutes from the seated position, failing. Then I went to standing up, towering over it, lining up the circles, and then putting pressure. And that worked within, 90 seconds? So that's the way to go. Stand up, take a look at it from the top. I'm afraid to pick it up by this. I might pull it off. But it feels pretty sturdy. All right. Now I'm back to sitting down just so I can kind of inspect this. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. We got that on there somehow. Did we spin it? Is it on the right way? Yeah, the dragons are lined up with the dragons. Oh, that was the whole page 47. So we're moving on to page 48. All right, page 48. What is going on page 48? It looks pretty simple, but a ton of pieces. So there's 3 like snake-like pieces that go up at the top. 2 373s and a 363. And then, I don't know what these are. 354? And then 270. So there's like a ton of 354s and a ton of 270s. So it's a lot of window dressing on page 48. All right, let's start with the 3 pieces. 2 373s and a 363. Those are going to go like on the top or something. So let's just start with those. I remember seeing those pieces before. I don't remember where I saw them, but I saw them. I see him again. All right. 373, 373. Where's 363? Is it on a different page? 365. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it here. Must be on a different page. 362. That's not the piece. 363. Okay, 362 was a different piece. You can't even see it here. So this is 363. Oh, you still can't see it. All right. This is 363 right here. And then there's the two 373s. So we're going to grab those pieces. That's what we're going to do first. So that brings us to 743 pieces. So 362 and two 373s. These don't look like they have the pins needed to connect. So we might not be able to connect these. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, there's a ton of pins here, but how do they connect? Not sure. I think we're missing something. Like there's supposed to be some pieces that hold these in. Because if you look at 373, it has a ton of slots on it. So there should be some piece should have the tabs that go in those slots, but the instructions don't show that. I don't know if they're gonna, if like the next page is gonna have the pieces, in which case we have to do another page tonight. So we can't stop with these things just sliding around on top. They need to be pinned in. Oh, I just broke the piece. Oh, that's a shame. I just broke a piece. Why did that happen? I guess it just wouldn't come out. As long skinny pieces sometimes break. I was kind of distracted when I was doing this piece. Anyway, let's start with the one that's not broken. We can't start. We can't do these yet. We have to put these pins down first. And these pins are 354s. Just trying to understand how many 354s we need. What, I gotta count them up myself? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 29, 30. Is it 30 of them? I think it's 30 of them. So, where is that? Oh, it's here? Yeah, okay. So you can count those pieces. Wow, everything is messed up here. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Yeah, there's 30 of those pieces. What are those pieces? Well, I know what they are. They're 354s. Where are they? I don't know. So 30 pieces, so that's going to go up to 73. And then there's going to be another set of pieces, the 270s, but we'll deal with those in a minute. So 354. There they are, 354. I don't see 30 of them, though. I see 10 of them. So one of these other boards have 20 of them. Yeah, yep. That's exactly the case. So I don't know how many 354s are on this board, But there's a ton of 354s on that board. All right. We'll do the broken one last. I don't know why. I just feel like doing it that way. And I'll start taking out these 354s. There's 10 of them here. Eventually, we're going to pop 30 of these out. All right. So, where should we put them first? I think down here, right? We'll put them on the castle. And then we'll put the other piece on top. I'm not sure which way is easier. I just got to do something, so that's what I picked. You also could put half of them in the piece and half of them on the castle. I don't know. There's a lot of, probably more than one way to get it done. These things hurt your fingers putting them in. They look like that, like, Green Lantern or whatever. Is that what that Green Lantern's thing looks like? Or the guy with that magic, like, green ring? Who is that? Which character is that? Superhero. Maybe it's Green Lantern. I don't know. It does kind of look like a lantern. Yeah, that's it. Green Lantern. That's who these pieces look like. Green Lantern. Not the character, the ring that he wears. I think that's Green Lantern, right? Who wears the ring? A kind of lantern-shaped ring. I think Ryan Reynolds was in that movie before he became Deadpool, which I guess was more popular. I don't know. I didn't see either of them. But I know that they... I've seen like memes with Deadpool in them. I don't see many memes with that green finger guy, Green Lantern. So I guess Deadpool is more popular, but really I have no idea. Okay, let's see what happens. Is this even an important piece? It doesn't seem... Oh, it's like railing? It's a railing system? Like if someone wants to sit on the porch. Oh, they come out those doors? Oh, okay, I see. They like come out these doors with the guards on the side. Again, the guards are bigger than the door. And then they stand here and make a speech. And this railing just, like keeps them safe? Like the king and queen or something like that? Seems like it. Well, this is going to take a while. The good news is that broken piece is going to... It's not going to be a big deal that it's broken because it's just attaching to these pins anyway. In fact, I might break more pieces trying to get them onto these pins. Like... Do you have all of these pins straight? It might have went better to put them into the railing first and into the castle second. Might have, I'm not sure. Whatever happened to Bol? Remember Manute Bol's like 3-point shooting 7'4" son? Is he like in the NBA now? Whatever happened to him? I have no idea. I don't know why that popped into my head right now, but it did. So I thought I'd ask. I guess I could Google it, except my hands are busy. I guess, is that one of the reasons they have this voice? Maybe I'll turn on the voice search on my iPad. Since my... Like this screen here, that's my iPad. So if I get my iPad to listen to me, then I can run searches without taking my hands off of the model building. So I might start doing that. All right, where's that broken piece? Yep, 3. Yep, we got 3 tabs here and 3 broken pieces. So I think the broken pieces go kind of here. So I've got 3 Green Lantern pieces and 3 pieces on this broken piece, so that seems like what we should do next. Can't get it started. It's in a tight little area there. Well, did anyone see, there's a politician, Lauren Boebert, I think is how you pronounce her name, and she was thrown out of a theater, and they said it was for vaping, but then a few days later they showed the video, and I started to wonder if vaping is like a code word, because I didn't see her vaping in the video of her being thrown out. It was more like something from an Alanis Morissette song. And then I started to like how to behave in a theater. And then I thought, is it like a code word? If someone's thrown out of a theater for vaping, like what exactly does that mean? Does that mean vaping? Because vaping is, I mean, it creates smoke, right? I don't know. I don't vape, but I think it creates smoke. So a person can't really expect to get away with vaping in a theater. Really anything in a theater. I mean, if you're going to a theater, just watch the movie. I mean, well, there's other things that, I mean, this is like not what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be vaping. You're not supposed to be doing any other sort of things in a theater. If you're in a theater, watch the movie. I mean, that's what you're there for. If you want something else, go somewhere else. Like, there's no reason to do that in a theater. And then I sometimes wonder about politicians in general these days. Like, you know how agents hire actors and athletes? Like, what? Like, I can understand why. I can maybe understand why you need an agent to be an actor, because they're going to send you to this set and that set and whatever. But why do you need an agent to be an athlete? Like, especially if you're on a team. Like, I understand why you need an agent if it was all tournaments. Like, soccer agents sort of makes more sense because they play in several leagues and tournaments during a year and they're moving around a lot. You know, an actor is like, I guess, the same. But a writer is just a script. And an NBA player or an MLB player, they're just playing in one league their whole career. Like, I don't know what the agent is really doing for them. But here's the thing. I feel like the politicians are moving into that category of needing agents. Or is there a different term for it when it's a politician? Is it a campaign manager? Like, I just feel like the days of politicians who represented their hometown because they had some ideas about making the world a better place. Like, I feel like that's not what you get in politicians these days. You more like get people who are like joining a team, basically. You know, it's the party team. It's just my impression. You can disagree with me. I'm not saying that this is really what's happening. But I wonder if it's something like that. Do politicians have agents? Or do they have someone that functions like an agent? I don't think it's campaign manager, because they're always firing their campaign managers. Are the politicians actors? I mean, people sometimes refer to them as puppets. I mean, are actors puppets. The director tells them where to go and the writer tells them what to say. And, when you see a politician, someone makes their schedule, someone like loads up their teleprompter. And there's even been clips of like people, aides telling the politician like how to vote. Like no one elected the aide to anything. Why is the aide telling the politician how to vote? Like, how does that come about? How common is that? Yeah, a lot of those politicians. I mean, people making fun of them lately for being like too old, like it's a nursing home. But I think it's beyond that. I mean, if you see Fetterman, his problems are beyond like what a nursing home could handle. We're like definitely living in the era where the politicians are not expected to think up anything on their own. I know there's a lot of them that do. Like, I don't want to necessarily say someone and then everyone agrees that, oh, that person's thinking for themselves. Let me just say that I think there are some of them who are thinking for themselves, but I don't think that's the majority. I think those are the ones who are like people think are really good. Or if you're in the opposition party, maybe you think they're really bad, but they're the people who, let's say, are consistently exciting to watch. They're clearly working on something. Their brains work. There's people. You would think that most politicians' brains would work, but that's not the case currently. There's like a lot of politicians who like are clearly out of their mind. It's like new trend, Like if the politician's going to be a puppet, and then just start with someone whose brain's not capable of more than that. I mean, sadly, we're seeing a lot of that stuff in politics lately. Like people who don't seem to be able to function like if you drop them off, if you give them like a plane ticket and $1,000 to go to a city for a weekend, like a normal person, that would be called a vacation. And these people who are supposedly running the country, they look like they would not be able to survive that. Like some disaster would happen. Yet somehow these people are running the country. Something a little not adding up there, but I don't know. That's how it evolved, right? That's how the position, it probably started with this guy can get the votes, something like that. Like, this guy can get the votes, we can't risk it on someone who's going to win on personality. We need the name, the reputation, the look, But then you probably need that person under contract. Is that legal, though? Like, if you hire an actor and have them run for office, who's doing the decision making? The actor's taken the oath, but have they taken a previous oath or contract with someone else, with their talent agency? I don't know. I'm like really on some speculation right here. I'm not saying any of this exists. These are just like crazy ideas bouncing around my head because I need to do 30 pins. And I think if I just say pin 1, pin 2, pin 3, up to pin 39, it's going to sound really boring. And not only do I have to do 30 pins, but they're all double-sided. So really I'm making 60 connections here. So whatever I'm saying during these 60 connections, I cannot be like held liable for them because I'm not even listening to myself talk. I don't even remember what I was talking about, I'll be honest with you. Something about the politicians or morons. Well, we all knew that. That they're mentally incompetent and that's why they became politicians. Like, some people are like, why do they have so many mentally incompetent politicians? And I'm thinking that it can't be an accident. Like, this is the new thing. Like, you want to run for politics, you need someone mentally incompetent. Because if you get someone competent in there, they might start thinking for themselves. That's probably why they hate Trump. Because Trump's not... They probably thought, like, Trump's an actor. We just give him a script. And he probably didn't do it. So now they hate him. I don't know. Again, I'm just guessing. Yeah, politicians thinking for themselves. I don't know. Didn't work out for Kennedy. I shouldn't joke around about that, but I'm not sure I'm joking. There must have been someone who shot Kennedy for some reason. I mean, I guess you could say it was Oswald and he was crazy, but I think as each year goes by, less people think that that's the full story. By the way, I still need one more 354. It's not enough here. Need one more. I see like 3 more here. Actually, I see like 10 more, but I'm going to grab one more. So probably when we go to the next page, there'll be more 354s because there's still a ton more of them on that board. All right. How many are here? 4, 6, 8, 11. So we're about to make 11 connections. Well, we already made the 11 at the bottom. We're about to make the 11 at the top. 11 connections. That's a lot. But luckily, these pins, you can kind of move them. They're not too difficult to do. I'm not sure which one to do first. I'm going to start at the top here, I think. Well, nothing doing. All right, start at the back, maybe. All right, I got 2 of them on. I'm just going to go down the line and get them all in. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. Got 3 of them in, 4 of them in. This 5th one looks like it's way off. 5 of them in. They're not all super strong connections, but 5 of them started. All right, 1 of them came out. Push them back in. Once we get them all started, we can like make them all strong connections. I think I skipped 1 or 2 along the way. Yep. Definitely not all on. What is going on here? This pin is not going in. All right. I think we got pretty good. This is not totally on. We broke this piece. So both of these railings are broken. Man, so close. And another, for the second time this episode, the iPad screen started to go dark. So that's twice we did 15 minutes on one section. This probably was a terrible episode tonight. And we're not done yet because according to these instructions, we now have to do the 270s. Where do they go? Oh, they go up here where the ballastas are going to go. So how many 270s? Both sides. So whatever the number is, it's times 2. 1, 2, 3, 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, 14 times 2, 28. Unfreaking believable, 28. Well, I'll tell you what's good about that. That's going to bring us to 801 pieces. So we're changing all 3 digits. Now we're at 801, and we need 28 270s. The good news is they all just go in like individually here, so it should be pretty easy. We just got to find the pieces, and we got to find 28 of them. There's more 354s. There's a ton more 354s. Look at this. Look at all these 350. Oh, sorry, wrong camera. Look at all these 354s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16, 22. There's 22 354s right there. And that's not the only section. There's 354s here, here, here. There's a bunch of them over here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what we're doing with all those 354s, but something. Here's some wings. There's wings and a dragon body. That's probably going to go together. What's the piece we're looking for right now? 270. We need 28 270s. I don't see a single one of them here. I guess they're on another board. Do we have any boards left? I found them. I found I believe it's called a shit ton of them. All right, 2, 4, 6, 9, 13. I don't know. This is probably all of the ones we need. There's 2 more here. There's 2 more here. And we need 28, right? I'm just going to start popping them out. I don't know if it's going to be the right number or not. I'm going to try to vaguely keep score. All right, 1. Wow, that just busted everything. 2. They're not coming out easy. 3. 4. 28 of these, huh? 5. Now, this is what I was talking about when it's boring. I'm going to count all these freaking things as I pop them out. 6. Because I want to pop out the right amount. And they're not popping out easy, by the way. 7. I think if you do them by the gripper end, they come out a little easier. But not much easier. All right, there's 8. 9. We're not even halfway yet. 10. 11. 12. You see how hard I'm pushing these things to get them out? 13. They're like crazy in there. 14. That's the halfway point. Too bad it's neither of them came out, 13 or 14. They're like still stuck in there. I think this board's not cut all the way through or something. Let's use the piece thing that they gave us. Maybe it'll work better. It is working better. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. This one's not coming out. Man, they're really stuck. 24. It's going to be 28. There's 4 more over here. It's like exactly 28, like we were looking for. 25. 26. 27. 28. That was just to punch them out. Now we got to install them all. Now we have to install 28. Look at this pile of shit. Look at the splinters on some of these. I mean, that's a ridiculous splinter. It's like bigger than the piece itself. All right. There's more splinters on the other side. That was one of the 28 pieces. They're probably all full of splinters. All right, now we're going to get splinters off. That's why they were impossible to punch out. When they're impossible to punch out, they come out loaded with splinters. So we're now pulling off splinters. They kind of look like little chairs. Some type of chairs, like a chair in profile. I feel like this is not even an important piece that we're about to do 28 times. Yeah. This this castle. I mean, it's fun, but we're getting to some repetitive parts today. It wasn't like this previously, right? We weren't doing... It wasn't this repetitive other nights. I mean, 28, come on. Has anyone been to Manhattan lately? I know I was talking about that recently. It's not the same. Most places recovered after COVID. I feel like Manhattan has not yet, which is weird because they're talking about lately in Manhattan the migrants and how there's too many of them. Is that really accurate? Because it seems like there's not much going on, like in the city lately. Like these migrants, it's like at least there's somebody there. All right, 1 out of 28 is on. Let's use this key thing because if I try to push 28 of these in with my fingers, I'm going to injure my fingers. So we're going to use this key to push them in. I was hoping they would go in easy, but they're not. Well, the key is going to make them easy. I'm not going to hurt my fingers. I'm just going to push them in with the key. You can hear. You can hear them going in. All right. Am I putting them all in the right spots? I should probably pay closer attention. I just see there's a couple of like extra spots and they're the same size as the spots that I'm putting them in, but I think we're doing it right. 2 along the back and 2 along the front and 5 along the side, and then whatever extra pins there are, I guess they're extra. We're not going to worry about them. Well, kind of messed that light up for a second. Oh, you can't even see I'm putting these pins on. It's so high. Oh well. Okay. I don't know if this does anything for... Oh, man, again. Some horrible shots today. Embarrassing for me. I gotta get myself off camera. Alright. I thought I would give you a better shot of these pieces going in, but all I did was embarrass myself. Okay. I guess halfway done when we finish this last couple pieces. The microphone is really in my way right now. I'm like trying to do these little connectors at this high height. Somehow the angle usually works out good for the microphone where it's like It doesn't block the camera when I put the camera on myself, and it doesn't block my vision when I work on the puzzle, but somehow, because this castle is so like vertical, somehow it's like the microphone's getting in the way. I lowered it a little bit to get it out of the way. It might not sound as good as usual, and I think I just bumped into it a couple of times, but I don't know. The other alternative is not being able to see what I'm doing. So I moved the microphone. This is just window dressing. Or balcony dressing, whatever you want to call it. These 14 pieces that I just put on, they mean nothing. And you don't even see them because the scoreboard's blocking them. Yeah, there they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 pieces. Time to put 14 over here. Unbelievable. Hmm. 14 per side. 28 total. It's going to be Olympics in 2028 in LA. They had them also in 1984 in LA. And now they're coming back. Like, how many years later? Like 44 years later, maybe? Something like that. From 84 to 28. So that's 16 plus 28. So, yeah, 44, I guess. I think they've been in London 3 times. London might have been the city that's hosted the Olympics the most times. Athens did it twice. Is this going to be Paris's 3rd time or 2nd? At 2024, they're in Paris. They've definitely been there before. New York has hosted the Winter Olympics twice. Not New York City, but New York State. Or has it done it 3 times? 1980, 19, yeah, it's done. Lake Placid's hosted 3 times. 1980. I forget the first one, if it was like 32 or 48, whatever it was. I think it was 32. And then I forget the most recent one. The only one I'm sure of is 1980. But there was a first one. There was 1980. And then there was a new one. Maybe around 2000-ish. Where was the last Winter Olympics? I remember a lot of them, like Lillehammer, Sarajevo. There was one in Korea not too long ago. Was it in China? Was the last Winter Olympics in China? It was probably just last year, right? Like 2022. Was it in Beijing? So they had the Summer Olympics in 2008 and the Winter in 2022. I probably have all these years and cities screwed up, but something like that. Yeah, I definitely got to get the voice control on the iPad so then I could run searches while I'm doing this building. Okay, we got all 28 in of these things. Actually, the last one is kind of slanted. I gotta work on that a little bit more. Okay, that's done. So 48 is done. So now we're on 49, but it's already been 90 minutes. So I'm John Rapp. This is Just Rest Your Eyes. Good night and see you tomorrow.